All right, this is week 43, part 1, and I did finish 2 cards for this week out of my scrap buckets, I should say, because I still have, I'm trying to combine and condense them so they're not all over the place, because I still have to do a little bit more of that, but it's better. But when I was cleaning up, I did find 2 more sheets of that paper that I had printed out on photo paper. I had printed some out on cardstock, and it was 12 by 12, but it did have a 1/4 inch border around it. So I trimmed that off, and then I cut it into cards, and I got 4 of the 4 by 5 1/4 cards out of each one, plus a slimline card out of each one, and then a scrap that I'm going to turn into a tag. I think that'll make a nice tag, and then I can stamp on the back the to and from. And then the same out of this one, the 4 sheets, or the 4 cards that are 4 by 5 1/4, and the 1 slimline, and then the tag. And I think this will make a really cute tag with the bird on there. So I'm going to cut those out, or cut the tags out, and put the cards together. And I don't plan on doing anything fancy right at the moment. I kind of got a bit of a cold. I noticed it yesterday. It's not too bad, but it's bad enough that I'm tired. So I'm going to try to keep these pretty simple, and just probably put them on a white cardstock, maybe a pearl, and probably just white, because it is hard to write a sentiment on the pearl with a pen, depending on the pen. So I'll probably just keep them on white, but I'm going to get those cut out and put together, and then I'll come back and show you the finished result. And I was actually thinking, I did have an idea that I didn't get as many tags as I originally wanted, and maybe I'll cut some of these down into tags. I don't know yet. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to start cutting out some card bases, because I'm out of those again, and start putting stuff together. Alright, so I cut out my card bases, and I did some different colors and found another surprise, which I'll get to here in a little bit. But what I've done is I'm starting to go through and attach my card fronts to the card bases. And I did go around, and I don't know if you can see it very well, it's kind of blurry, but I did do a little bit of gold ink on the edging just to help, you know, give it a little bit of definition. And this is just an Encore Ultimate Metallic Gold. And it's either from Michael's or Joann's. I do not know. I was looking to see if there was a year on here, because I do know that it is quite old. It is probably from the 90s. And it still works really well. It hasn't been used much, but there's no date on it. So, and I just went around and inked around the edges just to give it a little bit more separation from the background, and then I'm going to put my sentiments on it. But the thing that I wanted to show you, not necessarily was putting these all together, was these sticker squares that are from my scrapbooking days. I've got 3 boxes of them. I pulled 2 of them down because they felt kind of light, but I guess they're just kind of light anyway. And that's what I'm using to put on the back of these, because I really am trying to use up a lot of my older supplies. These are from, was it 2009? No, 1999. And then the Elmer's ones are from 2011. So they're a decade newer, so I'm going to use these up first. And I just want to, like I said, I've been crafting my whole life. I've got tons and tons of scraps, or supplies. Oh, I did that wrong. That one stuck down. Tons and tons of supplies, and I don't really scrapbook anymore. And even if I go back to it someday by some strange coincidence, there's all kinds of supplies and tools available. I don't need to hang on to these in the hope that someday I might go back to scrapbooking, because the truth is I intend to do digital scrapbooking. It's one of my it's on my to-do list, let's put it that way. And I've done some, but I really want to go through and all of the photos my husband and I have taken over the years, as well as all of the photos my mother had, and put them in a nice digital collage kind of video thing. So I just don't have any need for these, is my long-winded way of saying I'm using them up, because this is a nice easy way to use them up. It helps me get my card front centered, and then I can easily pull it back and remove those tabs that cover the double-sided tape and press it down. So I will be finishing these off. Whoops. It does help if you put the tabs, especially in the middle, in the direction that you're going to be working from, but it's not like it's impossible. These are printed on a pretty thin cardstock. So there you go. So I'm just trying to use these up. There's quite a few in there. I started to take them out of the box. I thought it'd be easier, and it was almost a whole roll. And it comes with 250 in it. So I decided to leave them in the box, but I'm going to finish putting these together, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the surprise that I found on my printer. It was another project I was going to do for Project Christmas Cheer, and I printed out a test sample and then got busy with something else and forgot about it. So it sat over there for like 2 weeks. So I'll come back and I'll show you that. All right, I finished all of the card fronts but one, and I went ahead and put the tabs on it, but I wanted to show you one of the really nice things about these tabs is, I know some of us struggle to remove the backing from the double-sided tape. Well, these actually have a little lip on them. Can you see that? So it's real easy to get a fingernail or something underneath there. So if you have these in your stash, don't be afraid to use them. I don't even know if they still make them anymore. They might, but I know I cannot be the only one out there who has these in my stash. So you know, don't be afraid to use them, because they'll work, and they work pretty nicely. So let's go ahead and attach this one. Now, here was my idea with this card. This was the one that was left on the printer. This is some, I don't know, cream colored stock from Michael's Recollection. So it's pretty thin. It's not what I would normally use for a card base, but I thought, because slimline cards, you know, I just thought that I would make the most out of one 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So I ran this through the printer as a whole piece of paper with this cute little digital image at the bottom of it. And then I took what was left of the paper and trimmed it down and decided I needed a backing for this. And so then I get a cute little card. Now what I'll probably do is put a thin piece of card stock on the inside as well for the message, just so it's a little bit heavier, because it is a little thinner than I like. But that remains to be seen. I don't know if I'll do that or not. But anyway, or I could just print 3 of these to a sheet and then cut my card base out of something else. That's always an option as well. I did go ahead and use the gold around the outside edge, and I thought about doing it on the red too, but I was afraid that might be too much. But now that I'm looking at it, I feel like maybe I should just go ahead and do the red really quick. So let's do that. Shouldn't hopefully take too long. I just feel like it helps give it a little bit more definition or depth or whatever. You choose a word. I don't know which one's the right one anymore. A little added interest. Let's go with that. Now you could also just take and drag your cardstock across the pad, and I have done that, and in fact that's how I did a sample, but I really feel like I can get more pressure on it this way and have a little bit more control over it as well. And I've got a whole drawer full of these pads, so I'm not worried about using those up. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this on here. We'll line it up. Looks pretty good. So I only printed out one of these digital train images. There's, I don't honestly remember how many were in the set. But they were really cute. I'm pretty sure they came from Creative Fabrica, and if I can find the link, I will share it in the comments below. It will probably be an affiliate link, but that doesn't mean you have to use it, and it certainly won't cost you anything extra. I think most people are affiliated with how affiliated links work. I haven't made any money on it yet, and I don't expect to make a lot. I just want you to have the file if you're interested in it. Okay, so now we're ready to glue that one down. Make sure I'm doing it right. Yep, okay. Isn't that going to be cute? I love that. Alright, actually I forgot how I was doing this. So I like this because I can get it centered pretty easily without having to worry about it prematurely sticking to the card base. And that's probably can go up a little. There we go. And then these little tabs on here make it nice and easy to remove. And you could add a little extra glue to them if you want. Wouldn't be a bad idea, but I don't think anybody's planning on saving most of these cards for a lifetime. And if they were, they could always re-glue it down. I mean, that'd be a simple enough thing to do. Anyway, except for the sentiment, there you go. And I just think that's so cute. Really cute. Now I do have one, because for some reason I struggle with measurements on slimline cards, and maybe it's because I haven't made enough of them, I don't know. But you can see on this one I've got a little extra, so I'm going to trim off a little extra on this one. It'll be a little bit shorter than the others. I should probably quit trying to do math in my head. I think those days are gone. Let's try it right there. That'll work. Especially fractions. I used to be really good at math, but you know, you get older and your brain doesn't always work as good or remember, especially if you're not using it all the time. But there we go. So now I just need my sentiments for the front. If I'm going to add one, I may or may not, we'll see. And then something on the inside. So I'm going to pause. Hopefully I recorded all this. You never know. And I'll be back. Alright, I have got everything glued together. Let's see, I finished. I'm still using these, but I about finished them off. So we'll just do a quick recap here. I do still need to put a sentiment on the inside, but I'll go through my stash and pull one out and apply it. So I didn't use any fillery on this one because I didn't really feel like it needed it, and I was running out of the stuff I'd already picked out, and I didn't want to cut out anymore. So same with this one, didn't really feel I needed it. I pulled these both out of my stash. In fact, I pulled everything out of my stash. I didn't make any new sentiments or any new die cuts. These were all things I already had. Did add a little fillery to that one just to give it a little schnazz. Now this one, the fillery is a little hard to see because it's vellum, but it's there and it just kind of helps break up that background a little bit. And the rest of them is a white pearl, so it's either vellum or a white pearl cardstock. And I honestly never thought I'd use this and this other one, but they didn't look that bad on here, so I thought I'd go ahead and use them up. They were some of my early prototypes, let's put it. but I felt like the colors and everything just kind of lent itself to these kind of vintage cards. And this one I mixed the vellum with the white pearl. This one is actually foiled in black. There, you just get a hint of the shine on the foil every once in a while. And it was the last one of those I had, and I thought it worked all right up there. I didn't want to cover up the bird. I really like that as a focal point, but I felt like it did need a little something extra, and since I was running out, it only got the one. This was a huge tag I made because I struggle with perspective sometimes. I think that's the right word. Or dimension, I don't know. Anyway, I thought it looked all right on here, and it kind of broke up. This was a big chunk of this background here, so I kind of felt like that broke that up a little bit. Would have liked to have added a little fillery, and I may go back and put some, I don't know, rhinestones, or start to say Dippin' Dots. My husband was talking about those yesterday. It's a Travis and Jason Kelsey thing. Anyway, sequins on there. I don't know. I'm trying to keep them pretty flat, so I didn't even use dimensionals on any of these. This one, I didn't love that, but I liked it better than some of the others, and I didn't want to make new sentiments, so I went with it, and I feel like it looks okay. I used the, the gold to kind of tie into the gold there, and there's green in the background, so I felt like it worked all right. And then there's the train, the Christmas train, which I just think is beautiful, and I am going to print some more of these out. Now, because I printed this on this off-white or cream-colored cardstock, the areas that were white came out in the design, in the original digital, came out with that creamy background. I think it looks okay antiqued, but I am a little excited to try it on white too, just to see what the difference is. So there's 10 cards. And then I finished up the scraps, because this was all started as a scrap buster, trying to clean out my bins and off my desk and stuff. And I don't remember if I showed you this one, so I'm going to show you again. It's just a cute little card. It can be a thank you. Well, actually, I made it a little Christmas card. So, just a cute little thing. Again, just using up scrap papers or scrap die cuts from my stash. This was a sentiment from my stash. This was a scrap die cut, this gold piece here. And this was a card that I'd messed up. Put the score line in the wrong place, so I just made it an unusual shaped card. There's no reason they all have to be exactly the same. And that's kind of peeling up a little bit. I had a lot of trouble with those dies. I'll tack that down. But anyway, so 12 cards to add to our total, which I believe, yep, it was 307, so we got 319 now. We're at 319 cards in week 43. Wow. And we're going to be making more. And this was busting my scrap bins, and I still have more of those to do, but I won't be doing those just yet. But I hope you like them. I hope you will let me know what you think, if you have a favorite or anything. And until next week, which will be week 44, which I'm hoping probably do some more of these, just because I really like them, and that was just one design out of a set, and I don't know if it was 4, 6, 8, or 12. I can't remember, but I will share the link for that if I remember in the comments below. And I also got 2 tags out of those 2 sheets of 12 by 12, so they're ready to be written on the back, attached to a gift, whatever, put in a journal. But yeah, it's all just cleaning up my desk and trying to use up my scraps. So wish me luck, because and don't forget to go check your old supplies, because you might have something in there that'll work. I did use these to the sentiments, but I did add some glue because I wanted to make sure those didn't pop off. Yeah, so till next time, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it very much. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and until next week, I'll see you. Happy crafting.